my name is Kat. Welcome to my channel. Okay. Hello, how are you doing today? I hope you're having a wonderful day. So today's video is going to be about some books that I really like and I would like to recommend it to you. These books, I read them since I started following Bookstagram, since I started following BookTube, since I opened the channel, and since I came back to reading. There are 10. I probably have few more, but in general I don't have a ton of them, and anyways I think 10 is a good number. So the first one that I start is Baking Cakes in Kigali. This one is by Gail Parkin. It's a story of Angel. She bakes cakes to make some extra income for her family, and it's set during the post-genocide of Rwanda. So Angel is a great character. She's super sweet, she's super funny, she's super honest, she's super straightforward. And through her eyes, we're gonna find stories about the people who've been in this town, in these communities, and suffered these horrendous events in Rwanda. It is kind of funny story. It is very sad, it's sweet. It has it's very easy to read, it's super light, but at the same time it doesn't take the value or take away how horrible was this event in Rwanda, but at the same time give you some hope and show you how people, besides everything, they keep trying to move forward and overcome their traumas and overcome these horrendous events in their lives. And highly recommended. Gail Parkin write this book after she volunteered on the town, so it's based in a real event, but it's not based in real people. It's just inspired from real people, since she was in contact with many of these people who've been through this horrendous genocide in Rwanda. The next one I have is, let me see, this one, Pride and Prejudice. This one is Jane Austen, the second book that she wrote or she published. This one is a great romance, it's a great classic. I kind of got surprised because I wasn't expected to like it that much. I read Sense and Sensibility before with the book club, and this one, it was our second one. They don't want to read another one. I'm gonna make them. Anyways, this one is one that I actually like a lot. I feel like the romance is very organic, very realistic. It doesn't feel too forced. The characters are very likable, with the exception of a couple of them maybe. The story is a little more, it moves very organic way, and that's it. You know, it's Mr. Darcy and Elizabeth Bennet. They have to overcome their first impressions from each other, and they fall in love. So Pride and Prejudice, highly recommended. It's actually really good. It's a classic for a reason. So next one we have Isabel Allende and The House of the Spirits. This one is a really good book. It's a really good example of what magical realism is. This one probably is one of her best works. It follows the family of Taborga. No, let me see. Follows the family of, I'm so bad remember names. It follows the family of Trueba. Basically follows 3 generations, and we get to know the story through their journals of Clara and through the memories of Esteban Trueba, that is the patriarch of the family. Be careful with trigger warnings. Check them out, because she can be very explicit. Her examples or her description, they can be very explicit, and it has some things or scenes that they are a little hard to digest. And it's a good example that how in this period of time during the coup of the military coup in Chile, how hard it was for the woman. And we do have a lot of supernatural events. We have a lot of mix of culture with religion, because it's very common in South America to mix religion, Catholic religion especially, with costumes that they are typical from the original culture. So you can see that too. And it's a very interesting story. It's easy to read. I always like Isabel Allende in general. I think for some reason her writing style is for me, and I get invested in the characters, I get invested in the story. I like that she always set it up in a specific periods of time. She does her research. It has a little drama, it has a little romance. It is a good writing for me, and I think The House of the Spirits is well known and very popular for a reason, and I highly recommend it to read it. The next one we have, let me see, let's do this one. No, let's do this one. So let's start with my first non-fiction. This one is Cast. Isabel Wilkinson. It's a very popular book. It was one of the picks for the Oprah's book club. I actually find it because I was following one Bookstagram book club, and they were reading some specific type of books, and that time they were reading this one. It is very interesting to read this one. You can learn and understand through her examples that some situations and some words, they can mean more than they seems to mean, and for some people some situations and some words, they can affect in a different way. She used a lot of examples. Let me read it, because again, I don't want to say it wrong. So she used a lot of examples of discrimination based on the caste system, and examples that they can be compared to the caste system on India. And also she used a lot of examples that they can be compared to the tools that the Nazis used to suppress and control people during the World War II. So it is a good book. I highly recommend it to read it. Make your own opinions after you read it. It can be a little difficult for some people to read it, or maybe push some emotions in some people, but I think it's worth to read it, and you can create your own opinions about it. Next one, let's keep going with the non-fiction. I have a memoir, is Educated. It's actually the story of the author that for some reason I don't remember and I think it's hard to pronounce it. You will see it, the book. Anyways, the Educated is a memoir about her family and how she grew up in a Mormon family, complete isolated from everybody else. It was in a small town in Idaho. They didn't have access to education. Their beliefs, they were a little difficult. She went through to abuse. She went through to have problems with their family, and it's a book that you learn that you can, besides all the odds, you can go and move forward and break some circles and be what you want to be. And eventually she got educated, besides all the odds. She ended up having a PhD in Cambridge, and she wrote the book telling us about her life. And what I like about this book is that she doesn't portray herself like a victim. She just tell you what happened to her, how hard it was for her to grow up in this atmosphere, and she tried to show you that she's trying to learn to understand her family and forgive some people in her family, and in order to move forward. And she reminds you that no matter what, you can achieve many things if you really work with it and you don't put limits on yourself. It is a really good memoir. I did it in audio. I highly recommend it. Do it audio, physical, it doesn't matter. It's really good. So the next one is another audio and another non-fiction. This one is Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey. I can never pronounce his name. Anyways, this is a memoir that actually surprised me, because usually famous people tend to show in their memoirs how hard it was to get where they get, or they talk about something horrendous that happened to them, and it's fine. They're trying to talk about their problems. That's good. But in this one, I think I couldn't stop laughing because he's so funny. He's reading the book and it's so funny to hear him, but he is not showing himself like a victim again. He's just telling you what it was his life, what decisions he needed to take, how he became an actor, how he decided to take some roles in his career, how he met his wife. And he's been keeping a journal for a long time, since he was a teenager. So whenever he decided to have a sabbatic time, I guess, he decided to read and figured out that a lot of moments on his life, there were some signs that he was following, like he saw something that tell him that he needs to move forward, or something that tell him to stop, or something to tell him that take it easy or something like that. So it's telling you at the same time that it's telling you his story, that you need to be aware what is around you and what the life is telling you, and that you need to work for what you want when it's the time, and pay attention. Don't close your eyes what is around you, I guess. Like, be aware that sometimes the life give you signs that they tell you if something is gonna go good or bad in your life. Follow your instincts, we'll say. So it is really good audio. I did an audio, like I said. I highly recommend it. You will have a good time with him. He's super funny. The stories that he tell you, they are funny. At the same time, he tell you some hard moments that he has in his life, decisions that he needs to take. But in general, it's a very easy read, and you have a good time with this one. So the next one, let's move on. I don't have more audios, but let's move on to this one, Malice. So Malice is a fantasy story, and I kind of surprised on this one too. When some books are super hype, a lot of people like them, a lot of people talk about them, and they are saying are the best, and then you ended up reading it. The same happened with movies or TV shows. Sometimes you get disappointed because you don't get what everybody was saying you're gonna get it. On this case, that didn't happen. This one is a story that the characters are great. You can get like attached to them. You want to follow their stories, you want to follow their journeys. The battles are interesting. The world building is good. It is a fantasy story set in a specific lands. Let me read that a little bit. I have like kind of like a summary I make because I'm very bad giving summaries. It's set in the Vanished Lands, and it's a war with ancient histories of giants and battles between divine forces. The evil are reawakening, creating political problems, while the ancient prophecies are coming to light. And these prophecies are talking about a black sun and a bright star. So you still have good versus evil, you still have the chosen one, but even if you follow the very typical tropes, you have characters that you really like and you really want to know what's going to happen with them. It is really good. Like, the pacing, I think, is really good. You have those moments that you just feel like your energy, your adrenaline is going, and then suddenly okay, let me breathe. So it is a really good book. I highly recommend it. There are 4 books in the series, and it's the series of The Faith and the Fallen. He has another series he just finished, so I need to finish with the series. I'm very, very bad finishing series. It's not because I don't like them, I don't know, I cannot finish. I have few series that I really like, and I'm not finishing them. Anyways, this one is a really good book. I think you have to read it. It's a great fantasy story, and sometimes in this time, since everybody's writing a lot of fantasy, it's hard to find a really good fantasy story. I think so. Anyways, let's move on to this one. So this one is more historical fiction. It's about this count that he's been arrested, house arrest, in a very fancy hotel in Russia after the Bolshevik revolution, and they take everything from him. They take their furniture, their clothes, their money, and they put him in a little attic. And it's a little extreme for him because he's from the royalty. He's accustomed to have everything on his hands. And on this attic, he decided to find another meaning for his life, and he decided to create a family for himself in this hotel, because he cannot go anywhere, so he needs to adjust to that life while everything outside is happening. His story is happening outside, and he's just in this, we'll say, 4 wards, because it's a big hotel, so he can move around, but still inside the place. I like it because, first of all, I couldn't stop reading it, and that doesn't happen very often anymore. And second, because the story is very touching. Like, you can see that found family and how a person, besides all adversities, doesn't change his values. He is very sure about himself and who he is, and he's not gonna change his values for anything. He is very a person who respects his family. He loves his family, and he did a lot, or accept a lot in order to protect the people who cares. It is a really good book. It is a little long, so it's over 400 pages. So if you are ready for a long story, read it. You're not gonna be disappointed. It is very interesting story. Like I said, it's very touching. You cry a little bit, you get happy. It is really good. Highly, highly recommended. The next one, I have Sunrise of the Reaping. Okay, this one, I knew I would like it, but at the same time, I was having doubting a little bit because, you know, it's a prequel from the original trilogy, the Hunger Games, and usually prequels or sequels tend to be not that great compared to the original versions. But this one didn't disappoint me. It is the story of Haymitch, I can't say it right, during the 50s. Hunger Game is the second quarter of the Hunger Games, and he didn't have it a good time. And through this story, we get to know him. We see other nice people that we like from the Hunger Games series. We get to know them a little bit there too, but we get to know him, and we understand why he is the way he is. The same, this book I couldn't stop reading. That doesn't happen very often, and I love when that happens because it means that the story and the characters are like I engage with them, and I really like them, and I can not stop following the story to get to know what is going to happen to them. I didn't read the first and the second book in the series, so I probably need to do it, right? But the 2 times that I read her books, I didn't get disappointed. So I believe that is a great writing, easy to follow, great dystopian story, and you're not gonna regret it. Read it. The next one and the last one, I think, is Carlos Ruiz Zafón. This one is The Shadow of the Wind, I think in English, La Sombra del Viento. This one is a gothic mystery historical fiction story. He tells you about, let me see, because I'm very bad, like I said, with the summaries. I did write it down so I don't have to repeat it many times. So it is a gothic mystery set in a post-civil war in Barcelona. It is the story of Daniel, who finds in his 11th birthday a rare book in a special bookstore. He is determined to find more works about the author, and in that journey of discovering, he ended up knowing about a problematic love story between the author and a lady named Penelope. So this story is super interesting. He is a very good writing, I think, because he can put you in a roller coaster again. One moment I was scared, another moment I was sad, another moment I was crying, another moment I was laughing. And if you know Spanish, read it in Spanish, because he said some words, or he writes some words that you only gonna get it if you read it in Spanish. I believe so. Anyways, I think the story is really good, really good. It is a good mix of supernatural things with some romance and historical events, about libraries, and then about books that they are super strange, people that is strange. So every character is really good. You get to love them, every single one of them. I don't know. I don't think I have any more to say about this one, because it is really good. You have to read it and you will find out how interesting is this story. And I have to finish the series, the same like the other ones. It has like, I think, 3 more on the series of the Shadow of the Wind, I think. I'm not sure what is the name of the series, but I know it's 3 more books on this war. And sadly, Carlos Ruiz Zafón passed away, but he left us beautiful and great books to read. And I think that's pretty much it. I don't think I'm gonna repeat this video anymore because I tried already many times. The dogs, they were barking, they were interrupting me, so this one is the last time. Hopefully it's good enough. I hope you like my recommendations. Let me know if you read them and if you like them, or let me know if you like to read one of them. And I think that's it. If you like the video, thumbs up. If you want to know if I post another video, ring the campanita. And thank you for watching. Bye.